Alrighty, fight fans. UFC, Vegas, whatever the fuck this is, 108, I think, 106, something like that. Tatsuro Taira versus Park Yun Sung just took place, and I'm here to give you the breakdown, the rundown, the takeaway from every fight, thoughts and opinions, okay? And fight just concluded, so this is obviously instant reaction, as I think that just updated as I'm watching my screen. Now, with that being said, if you don't know, I do these picks based purely off passion. Yes, I do care about my picks. Yes, I did go very positive this card. I believe I went 8-3 if you count the women's fights. But over here, we'll get into it. But we don't fucking count the women's fights. It's serious picks. So if you want to be that guy, 8-1, almost a perfect card. We'll get into who fucking stunk it up, alright? But always, I'll have the official numbers at the end, okay? To track at the end of the year in case anyone wants to clip it, you know? Tally up the totals, just saying, okay? Tapology glitched out on me. For some reason, it didn't save my picks. It is what it is. But with that being said, let's get into the breakdown of the card. Starting off with fucking women's fight, God. Fucking damn it. Piera Rodriguez versus Ketlin Souza. I'll be honest, I didn't really pay attention. This fight happened. And if you don't know, I do a certain type of prediction, okay? Called a coin flip for my women's fights, as I don't take it seriously at all. I don't give a fuck about women's fights. But yeah, this fight happened. You know, I said 29-28 via the coins logic, and unfortunately it didn't work out this time. Hey, the coin went 0 for 2. It is what it is. Moving on, we have Rafael Estevam versus Felipe Bunes. All right. And listen, okay, I watch a lot of MMA YouTubers, like most of people who are probably watching this video. And I get why people are on Felipe Bunes, but I think Rafael Estevam's kind of just like an Asu Almabayev, and I think I even said it in my breakdown. You know, I don't think Rafael's going to finish Felipe Bunes, but I just think he's going to outwork Felipe Bunes. I mean, Felipe doesn't really have a great resume either. However, Rafael's winning, Felipe Bunes isn't winning. And that's kind of like where I saw the discrepancy. Rafael is just okay being boring, nut-hugging, laying on top of you, like Asu Almabayev. You know, being in those uncomfortable positions, but knowing that they're probably scoring you winning that position, you know? And if you don't know, we want picks. They did their lock of the week of Felipe Bunes. Okay, I was on Estevam's side. I get why they picked Felipe Bunes, but you know, let's just say it was a generational crash out that I saw. Jamie, play the clip.
You fucking suck every week. Miguel, you stupid fucking... We just hit 2 lock of the weeks last week. You fucking idiot. The hell are you talking about? Tell your mom that when she comes over tonight, she better be a lot cleaner than she was last week. Because when I'm between those fucking legs, I'm not trying to fucking gag. And tell her to shave it down a little bit more because the stubble's irritated my fucking lip. You fucking fuck.
Alright, now with that being said, yeah, I picked Rafael Estevam. Listen, I get why you would have picked Bunes. Bunes did look good, but like, man, flyweight, like, when you're good at flyweight, you're just not able to do, like, you have to be great at one thing and really good at everything else, you know? Felipe Bunes is just good at everything, you know? Like, his grappling takedown offense was aight. You know, his cardio was really lacking. Like, he did look like he was quitting in the midst of round 2. But I thought it was a 29-28. I think I gave Bunes the first round. Or it was the second, something like that. I gave Bunes one of the rounds, I think. But, yeah, Rafael Estevam just laid on top. Asu Almabayev his way to a decision. I think they gave him a 30-27. Disagree with the scorecard, but, you know, I picked Rafael, so I'll take it. Moving on, Austin Bashi versus John Yanis. This was short notice, I believe. I was not able to predict this on my official YouTube channel, and I don't give a fuck about these two bums, okay? Austin Bashi, to his credit, is kind of like a yoked out Chase Hooper, okay? He does have that nerdy gene in him, you know? He's like if you took Chase Hooper and you mix in a little bit of genes from, like, Mikey Musumeci. You know, you gave him a Mikey Musumeci voice, but you gave him the Chase Hooper build, and you get this thing, all right? But no, Austin Bashi had an impressive performance. Finish John Yanis here. Yeah, I mean, Yanis just sucks. I mean, like, there was no... It's not really a better breakdown than that. You know what I mean? Like, he kind of got... He got pushed against the fence in the early parts of round 1, and then Austin Bashi took his back, and John needed to make one mistake, and it was cooked, and he made that one mistake, and Austin Bashi Chase Hoopered it up with his grappling. So he gets it done. Big Chase Hooper moves on, or I guess small Chase Hooper because he's a featherweight. But mini Chase Hooper moves on. We move on to the next fight. Nick Klein versus Andrei Puliev. I was on Puliev. I thought this was going to be a classic Russian show because if I'm not mistaken, this was Puliev's first fight in the UFC. And I don't watch PF, no one cares. I don't watch One Fighting, didn't ask, okay? I watch UFC. I'm a UFC fan. But I went with Puliev pretty much purely because Nick Klein sucks. And he still sucks. You know, he had moments against somebody. I can't remember the name. I want to say it was Christian Leroy Duncan, but I could be wrong there. Regardless, Nick Klein had, like, moments where he looks good. And he is good in the first round. He's almost like a modern-day Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos. But the problem with Nick Klein, not only is the gas tank, but, bro, he's not a middleweight. Like, Andrei Puliev looked like a middleweight Volkov, all right? Alexander Volkov at heavy, you know. I don't need to explain it, okay? Us hardcore fans know who fucking Alexander Volkov is. But, yeah, I just think Puliev looked like a built middleweight who had, like, a game plan at middleweight. Nick Klein looks like a fat welterweight who's got a little bit more muscle definition, I guess. And that's literally it. Like, that's all Nick Klein was. You know, came in, got fucking smoked. Acted like a can, got smoked like a can, you know? He thought he could get the Russian out in round 1? Come on, brother. You know, send him 2-3 years Arkansas and it gets worked out. But, yeah, Andrei Puliev gets it done via looking like a miniature Alexander Volkov. And Nick Klein's a bum. Just cut him. He fucking sucks. Moving on, Rodolfo Vieira versus Tresean Gore. This was the one stinker, okay? I went with Tresean Gore. Listen, you can count on me. I get it. I know, okay? I did say he kind of reminded me of like a, what's his name? Angelusa, you know? Only like a little bit worse. I just think Rodolfo Vieira looks like the type of dude to get fluke chinned, especially the way he strikes, very hands low, while he's jabbing. Like, he's got a karate style in a way, I guess. But he fights very slow. But this fight, I think, raised the socks of Rodolfo Vieira. I think he's fighting at... what's that fucking place called? Fighting Nerds now. There's a lot of people at Fighting Nerds that, you know, people forget, man, but Rodolfo Vieira did look good in this fight, but he still looked like there's some big holes. Like, this was more Tresean Gore losing the fight than it was Rodolfo Vieira winning the fight, because Tresean Gore just got bullied, and he didn't have anything, like, to answer the bullying with, you know? He's like the kid who gets shoved in a locker. You show up the next day, and he's waiting to get shoved in the locker, you know? So, kind of sucks for Tresean Gore. Cut him. Yeah, I literally went with, like, fluke KO or, like, a fluke decision here, I'm pretty sure. Just because, like, I still don't trust Rodolfo Vieira's fight IQ. Especially losing to Petrosky. Bro, Andre Petrosky fucking sucks. Like, he really does suck. So, I don't know. Rodolfo Vieira looks like he can improve. I don't know how young he is. I think he's, like, kind of old, isn't he? 35, man. Yeah. You know, Tresean Gore, you should just straight up cut, though. Tresean Gore's a fucking bum. This guy's a can. This guy, like, set up the next... Give him fucking, the next middleweight. Give him, like, Gutierrez, alright? Let Gutierrez execute Tresean Gore. I don't give a fuck, you know? Or let Brian battle, alright? Wait, did he already beat Brian Battle? I'm pretty sure Brian Battle already beat him, you know? And if you don't know, Brian Battle's going to become the next middleweight champion or welterweight champion, whatever King wants. But, until then, I'll keep on promoting Brian Battle's success. But, yeah. That's what happens when you fight Brian Battle, man. What can I say? You become a washed-up, you know, Tresean Gore. It is what it is. So, yeah, I was wrong there. Bad prediction by me. You know, I'll own up to my mistakes, but we move on. Torinya Nakamura versus Nathan Fletcher. My completely legal stream ended up having some issues during this fight, so I was not able to watch it, and thankfully, alright, I looked to the east, if you catch my drift, alright? Knowers know. And I was able to catch the glimpses at the end, and it was just a round one sort of fluky-esque finish. I went with Rinya Nakamura by like a decision, because I do think Rinya is good. You know, he's got the grappling if he needs, and he just needs to, you know, clean it up. Nathan Fletcher is just it's a really soy bantamweight, a very, very soy, like, built bantamweight, you know? It looks like he just doesn't really have a lot of muscle definition. Looks like he gets bullied around easier. Who was his fight against? Last, Cowlin Loughran. He arguably beat Cowlin. Like, that was a close fight, but... I don't like that, because Cowlin fucking sucks. I don't even think he's in the UFC anymore. Alright, so... It is what it is. Rinya Nakamura gets a fluky body finish KO. I think it was like a body kick or something like that. It was like a teep to the body. Put down Nathan Fletcher, and that's what happens when you don't have muscle definition. How about you hit the fucking gym? All right, fat fuck. Anyways, moving on. Main card. Danny Silva versus Kevin Vallejos. We beat Danny Silva that night, and we beat Mr. TikTok clip farming fucking O'Malley looking like wannabe Brazilian motherfucker, okay? We beat that guy. No, Kevin Vallejos is good. He's like a mini Esteban Ribovics with a little bit better boxing defense. We'll get into it, but Danny Silva also kind of just... How do I put it? Like, he kept on trying to clip farm with doing like O'Malley basketball tricks and trying to ego shit like he was fucking Cody Garbrandt, like, oh, that didn't hit me. A little bit of Sean Woodson fucking tomfoolery going on in there. What the fuck are we doing, Danny Silva? Like, listen, Danny is good. Danny Silva is like sneaky good. But the problem here is Kevin Vallejos, he would do something, and then Danny Silva would get hit, try to hit back, and if he missed, he lost that exchange. And that happened a lot, but for the most part, it was Danny Silva sort of waiting for Kevin to do something, getting too impatient, whipping, getting caught, and then him realizing, okay, I need to wait for him. Vallejos would swing, most likely land, because Danny Silva kept on hitting that chin, alright? But, hey, dumb fuck, okay? They score that as a fucking strike, okay? So he kept on getting hit. Danny Silva, I think, landed a lot more than the numbers are going to show. Yeah, I thought... Maybe, I don't know. Those numbers seem fairly accurate now that I'm looking at it, but normally those numbers are way off. But Danny Silva, I thought, landed a lot more than, chat hopping, watching MMA Guru crash out that Danny Silva's not landing anything. He was. He just was, okay? But, yeah, Danny Silva just, like, he would get hit, throw back, miss, and then, like, aura farm after Kevin Vallejos just missed. But, brother, you're down in the round, you know? Very Javid Basharat performance from Danny Silva here. If you know, you know. But, yeah, this was interesting from Kevin Vallejos. It looks like he might be pillow-fisted, like Esteban Ribovics. Looks like his boxing very clean, like Esteban Ribovics. Looks like his striking defense is aight, but could use some work, like Esteban Ribovics. And he looks very undersized for the weight division. So he quite literally is mini Esteban Ribovics. So I do think he actually goes far. Let's hope for more fight of the... Maybe not fight of the year contenders, but, you know. We might have got the fourth best on the card, you know? Fourth best fight on the card, you know? We did that, okay? But, yeah, Kevin Vallejos, he's good. I don't think he's... Like, if this guy shows up in featherweight against, like, Sean Woodson, or, like, Dan Ige, you know? Like, those type of guys, I think, would give Vallejos some big problems, you know? But, you know, he probably beats Andre Philly. He probably beats, you know, Melkazel Acosta, I think his name is. I'm terrible with fucking pronouncing certain names, but, actually, I'm not going to say that, but that type of style, I think, would beat Kevin Vallejos. Like, very dangerous everywhere and trying to, like, initiate a fighting circumstance, not trying to aura farm the whole time, you know? Like, real ranked contenders are going to give Kevin Vallejos a lot of problems, but he's young as shit. Like, he's only 23. Like, bro's got time, all right? He's featherweight Song Yadong right now. Early stage. He's featherweight Joshua Van, guys, okay? He's got time to cook. Anyways, moving on. Neil Magny versus Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos. I went with Neil Magny. Anyone riding high on Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos, I kind of get. Bro, I'm telling you, these highlights from their career. Listen, Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos wins are crazy. He's got a Sean Strickland win in there by spinning wheel kick. That's a fucking insane win to have in Big 2025, all right? Spinning wheel kick on Sean Strickland. I almost want to say Sean Woodson, but nah. Different Seans. Too many Seans in this fucking sport, bro. Anyways, Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos is good, but he is almost 40 years old. He's like 39 right now. Blood's not been looking that good in his last couple performances, all right? I think his last win, was it a first round finish, I want to say? Because he got finished already this year, which I don't like. Yeah, he beat Zach Scroggin. And then he lost another, like... Listen, man, I don't understand. I even put money on Neil Magny. I'll keep it a buck, all right? I'm keeping it transparent here. I put like $5 on Neil Magny, Esteban, and somebody else. I can't fucking remember, but you know that parlay paid out a nice 30 for 5. You know, just saying. Okay, if you're looking for picks and predictions, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. But regardless, Neil Magny. People forget, man. Neil Magny, he's got the most wins in welterweight history. He is like good, man. Like he's not, like, good in terms of fighting a young prospect who's got, like, really high finishing potential. But he's really good against fighting other unks. Because a lot of these unks, they don't got that Y-iota in them, you know? And Neil Magny's is the definition of got the Y-iota, you know? He's got no head movement, all right? He still sort of runs in there with his head fucking on a pole, okay? Every time he blitzed in, all right? Zero head movement on Neil Magny. He's still wanting to clinch, and he's still active in the clinch. But overall, this came down to a few things. Number one, Elizeu hasn't been looking good in his last performances. His last one was in round 1, and I even said it in my breakdown. He has to finish Neil Magny in round 1. I don't think he could fucking do that if Carlos Prates struggled to do it. And I get it. Oh, but he finished him in round 1. There was still like a minute left or whatever it was. Neil Magny got rocked in the first minute against Carlos Prates versus Neil Magny. And he was rocked for 3 minutes and survived. Michael Morales did a lot of damage on Neil Magny's chin. And he survived until the late 3rd round against a young prospect. Okay? Not even the great Gilbert Burns could do that. We all know that was a fluke KO. But regardless. You know, Mike Mallet was dominating for 2 rounds, and then in the 3rd, he quit. Neil Magny will, like, once he senses blood in the water, he goes for it. At his big age. And he's been showing he goes for it, okay? And then on top of that, Neil Magny, if you're not able to do your style on Neil Magny, he wins. And a 39-year-old Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos, whose best odds of winning are in round 1, all right? Like 99% of his winning chances in round 1, and then the 1% in round 2 and 3 are going to be fluke, like, finishes and a fluke decision. Like, how the fuck are people betting Elizeu at, like, negative money? Like, what? Like, it was just crazy to me. I thought it was so odd, because it's like, bro, Elizeu he's good when he's bigger than his opponent, longer than his opponent, but Neil's bigger than him. Neil's rangier than him, all right? Like, this just at the end of the day was like a picture-perfect Neil Magny fight. Guy gasses out in round 1 and gets smoked in the later rounds. Like, this was literally like Unk Mike Mallet. Mike Mallet? Mike Malott, all right? This was, Elizeu is like old Mike Malott walking in there, okay? And Neil Magny's already whooped a young Mike Malott. So it's just like, brother, I couldn't see how Elizeu wins this one. I respect that Elizeu pick. I do like Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos for his, like, highlight finishes. But Unk just don't got, like, he's 40 years old, guys. Like, this guy isn't Jim Miller, okay? So I picked Neil Magny. I'm happy with my Neil Magny pick. I paid out on my parlay, so W Neil Magny. Hey, we beat Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos. But yeah, moving on, women's fight, no one gives a fuck. Nora Cornhole got her cornhole fucking filled. AKA she got taken down and nothing really happened outside of that. There was a few sub threats. 29-28, I think was the scorecards. Hey, I called it. All right, vintage 29-28 women's fight. Thanks for the coin. 0-2 on the coin. It is what it is. I don't give a fuck about women's fights. Moving on, Elvis Brenner versus Esteban Ribovics. This was a fucking banger, okay? Now, Esteban Ribovics is good. Takedown defense, great. He can sort of see things coming before they actually start initiating. And he's kind of got like, he's got like, what's that one power from Jobless Reincarnated? The fucking Demon Eye or whatever it is, where he can see the future like 3 seconds ahead. He's got that, but he doesn't move his fucking head, okay? He's got a cinder block for a head, and he's always had a cinder block as a head. So one day, Esteban Ribovics will get chinned hilariously, but we've got a lot of time for our zesty king here, our zesty little nugget, to make it as far as he can. You know, I do still think that he beat, who was it, Naimov or some shit like that? Nasrat Hakparas. I thought he beat Nasrat Hakparas personally at 29-28. I thought that was clear. But regardless, Esteban Ribovics was really good. He was landing more, and Elvis Brenner was doing really good with his jab. And Esteban Ribovics, I don't know what it is, but like a fucking jab is just the super effective move on Esteban Ribovics. It's like every time he gets jabbed, he just doesn't understand, oh, I need to dodge it, you know? Oh, I need to move my head. You know, he just gets jabbed, and it's like, yeah, winging hooks every time he gets jabbed, you know? And eventually he starts biting down, and he's like, oh, you're gonna jab me? Okay, then I'm just gonna fucking left hook your fucking chin. And that's what he did a few times to Elvis Brenner. Dropped him early in round 1. Round 2 was kind of closer because Elvis Brenner was doing really well on the backfield with the jab. Overall, I think I still scored an Esteban Ribovics round. Only because Elvis Brenner was starting to show a little bit more face damage. And he was on the back foot the whole time. And the striking numbers were very close. And in round 3, it got pretty close in moments. Bro, Esteban Ribovics, this guy knows how to win rounds. And it's kind of unfortunate to say because he did lose against Nasrat Hakparas, but he does know how to win rounds. The first like 2 minutes are kind of rough for him. He's a little bit slow of a slow starter. And then almost like a Reggie Gigas, he just comes in and starts fucking whooping ass in the final 3 minutes. Just like, oh, you're gonna, like, he'll get jabbed for the first 2 minutes, not respond. And then after like 201 hits, bro, he's going in there and he's fucking, oh, you're gonna jab? Boosh, you know, trading shots, fucking knee up the middle, fucking head kick, you know, even those Alex Morono fucking combination enders, you know, the fucking jab into a head kick or like a cross into a head kick, shit like that. So it was really fun to see. Great fight, amazing fight, but there was only one fight on the card that stole this show, and that was Mateos Rebecki versus Christian Duncan. Chris Duncan, not Christian. Maybe that's his full legal name. Chris Duncan versus Mateos Rebecki. I disagree with the decision being a 30-27. I thought it was a pretty clear 29-28, but you could have given 29-28 to either guy. I just think it fell on Chris Duncan this time. Chris Duncan is kind of becoming a Scottish Sean Woodson gene. All right, maybe Sean Woodson laid his eggs in Scotland. We have to go check. All right, send in the Predators, send in the fucking like what's the I don't know, the National Guard for Scotland, whatever the fuck it is. But send them in, check the area, scan the area, make sure there's no Sean Woodson eggs lying around. You know, we gotta check the area. But Chris Duncan, he does have this weird, like, almost, I don't know how to describe it, like a Reiner de Ritter goofy ass style where every time he gets hit, it looks like it's a super effective move. And his striking doesn't look that good and it looks very telegraphed, but he can just fucking do it. Like, he just gets away with it, you know? So maybe we need to go to fucking, what is it, Netherlands? You know, maybe that's where the egg is. Maybe that's why we haven't found it in Scotland. All right, maybe Sean Woodson laid the egg in the Netherlands, and this is what happens. All right, we get a Scottish Chris Duncan. You know, maybe splice it with Paul Craig's DNA. Hey, we're still trying to figure it out, okay, on the DNA test. But yeah, Chris Duncan got it done. Close fight. Either way, okay, round 1 I thought was a pretty clear Rebecki round. Mainly because I thought Chris Duncan just slipped too much. Like, he kind of did. It was hard to tell if he got knocked down or just slipped on his ass, but he was like role-playing Sean O'Malley round 1 and he slipped like 4 times, you know, in round 1. And it was kind of like a weird situation. They didn't score any of those as a knockdown, so that's kind of surprising. But yeah, Chris Duncan was doing really well. He's peppering him with the jab. Mainly, he was landing that lead elbow, that cut. Had a really nasty cut above that the right eyebrow of Mateusz Rebecki. Really sick performance from both of them. Rebecki might just be a fucking another Ribovics gene, you know? You have Esteban Ribovics, and then you have the fucking what's his name? Kevin Vallejos, the young Esteban Ribovics, and then you have Mateusz Rebecki, the Unk Esteban Ribovics, you know? These guys, they're blockheads. You know, they don't move their head, you know, and they just sit there fucking throwing back every time they get hit. It's sick to watch. I love this shit. This is why we love the sport. But with that being said, I do think Rebecki, there was just no way in my head for Rebecki to win this other than chinning Christian Duncan. It could happen. I just didn't see it happening, you know, because Rebecki does hit kind of hard, but if he's not finishing Orobai, Chris Duncan doesn't look like he's got a soy chin. You know, I get Scotland forever, right? But I get, like, the chin allegations that were going Chris Duncan's way, especially with the way he absorbed shots, like Reiner de Ritter, goofy, you know? But he's just got, I don't know what it is. He's got infinite regen on his chin HP. It's weird, you know? But I didn't really bet on Christian Duncan slaughtering him on the feet. I thought this was going to be competitive on the feet. But if Chris Duncan, I keep on saying Christian, if Chris Duncan was whooping Rebecki on the feet, Rebecki's going to get desperate for a takedown, probably get subbed. That was where I was going towards. I feel like Rebecki just knew, shit, I can't take this guy down. He's going to guillotine me. Every time he went for a takedown, or even when, like, Chris Duncan slipped in round 1, Chris Duncan kept on threatening a choke. I just think Rebecki's eye was shut, because it did shut by the end of round 2. Round 2 was brutal for Rebecki. Round 1, it was pretty close, but I gave it to Rebecki. Round 2, it was brutal. His eye got swollen shut. There's so much blood on his face. You know, there were some markings on Chris Duncan, and Chris Duncan did get tagged here and there. But overall, I thought it was a Chris Duncan round clear. And then round 3, I also thought it was a Chris Duncan round clear. Or not clear, but that one was the swing round. But I thought it was 1-1 going into the third. But yeah, I'm surprised this didn't get stopped via doctors. His eye was like, I don't mean, it's probably in the thumbnail, bro. His eye was shut. Like, he could not see. That right side, like, he was a one-eyed bisping in there, okay, against Chris Duncan. And Duncan over here, total drama performance, all right, whooped Rebecki, okay, all right, but yeah, it did, if anyone got that reference, hey, the Duncan from Total Drama Island, okay, you know, just saying, okay, anyone in the back, anyone get that, anyone have a childhood? Yeah, that's right. The good old days, the Total Drama era. Anyway, sorry, I was going through a nostalgia train. Yeah, Chris Duncan was just doing well in round 2. He was landing really good, like, jabs and, like, knees and kicks, and it was just too much for Rebecki. Like, Rebecki, he tried going in, and he'd get tagged every single time, and he knew if he went for a takedown, there's a thought, ooh, shit, he might get a choke. Because he almost got it, I think, twice in round 2, and then he almost got, I want to say, like, a Darce in round 3. But both men got pretty gassed towards the end of round 3, and it was a sick performance. This, in my opinion, for right now, is fight of the year. Right now, in my opinion, I think this is fight of the year. But yeah, I think this was a great performance from both men. Chris Duncan, I think, beat the fraud chin allegations, and Rebecki still showed he's tough as shit. But I did say it in my breakdown, man. I just had a feeling Rebecki's gonna wear damage way worse than Chris Duncan. And shocker, the Maitebek Oralbai fight, that type of damage doesn't just, like, go away. So yeah, I went with Chris Duncan. Smart pick by me. I even put $10 on plus 3.5. And if you don't know what that means, he just needed to win a round. And that was double my money. So, yeah, we got it done. Moving on. Tatsuro versus Park Hyun Sung. This was originally supposed to be Amir Albazi. I can comfortably say Amir Albazi would have got fucked up. Yeah, round 1, Tyra knocked him down. What was the... what was the walkout song for Park? It was something catchy. It was like, something crown. I just got visions of a Minecraft fucking trailer going through my head. Boom, 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 boom. Used to rule the world. Bum, bum, ba, da, ba, ba. whatever the fuck, whatever song that was, aura ass walkout. But unfortunately, Park just wasn't ready for a Tatsuro Taira. Tatsuro is good. He's one of these sneaky goods that's like most casuals are gonna watch it and be like, he doesn't look that good. But he's doing a lot, like weight management in terms of where everything is, the balancing and everything. Like sort of like Ilya Taporia on the come up in terms of his striking, but Taira's the same way in his grappling. You know, because that fight with Brandon Royval, which I predicted for Royval to win via split decision. I think I said decision, but yeah, I did pick Brandon Royval to win that one. Tatsuro Taira's young as shit, but he is like good as shit. You know, he's good as fuck, bro. It's hard to come in with a game plan to beat Tatsuro Taira on its own. Short notice. Kind of a rough situation. In round 1, he knocked down Park. Laid on him afterwards, did pretty much nothing other than threaten a choke at one point. And then round 2, similar situation happened. Park got, I don't think he got dropped. I just think Tatsuro Taira ended up sneaking up to the back. He ended up getting to the back and instantly locked in a face crank on the back. So yeah, Tatsuro Taira got it done pretty convincingly. He deserves the win, I guess, because it's a short notice. Flawless fighter and Park Hyung-sung. Park can be something. Like, he is still good. He's still young. You know, he was 10-0. But this ain't fucking, like, what was Park's last fight? I don't even remember. This ain't no unranked flyweight, alright? This is a legit, like, top 5, top 10 fucking flyweight in Tatsuro Taira. You know, you need time to prepare for guys like these, especially in the higher levels, you know? So, it is what it is. Tatsuro Taira gets it done. I picked him to win also. I think I waited for this fight to fall out, and then I did my predictions. But yeah, I picked Tatsuro Taira. Tatsuro Taira got it done. I think overall in the card, I had one wrong in Tresean Gore. We're not including the women's fights, but yeah, that's been my breakdown, takeaway from every fight, overall review. So tune in next week for Roman Dolidze versus Anthony Hernandez. Holy shit. Can we just get DDP versus Hamzat Chimaev already? Come on, UFC. Stop fucking teasing me. Anyways, with all that being said, I want to thank you for making it all the way to the end of this video. And as always, I hope you have a good day.